Hi, Edwin. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for having me. I really appreciate your time and your viewers' time. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We invited you to talk about entertainment on events. You're a professional booker for entertainment. So, from your perspective, why is entertainment so important at an event?
That's a great question, Kevin. When a company spends money on an event, their resources are finite and they want to get the best bang for their dollar or their euro, whatever it may be. A company really has three clients that they're trying to gather and entertain or attain, either their employees at an event, their customers at an event, or their potential customers at an event. And like we broker celebrity appearances. So let's say they book a celebrity, they're going to get the most bang for their money. If it's an employee event, all the employees will finally leave their desk and go to the event happily to see XYZ movie star or director or book author, whomever it may be. If it's a potential client, they'll say, wow, that XYZ corporation had so-and-so, and look, I took a selfie with them and I posted it on Instagram and I had 1,000 likes or whatever it may be. And clients, same thing. They said, oh my God, we love working with you. And I can't believe I had the opportunity to meet a certain celebrity. And I always say the ROI for having a celebrity at a performance, at an event is wonderful, because it's just, with social media now, everybody wants to post and be liked by their friends or their colleagues or whatever. And if you say, oh, here I am with, Tom Cruise, let's say, everyone's going to go, oh my God, did you see Edwin was with Tom Cruise the other night? And it just explodes. So I think it's the best ROI any company can have, is to have entertainment.
You're based in Las Vegas. I think that's the center of the world regarding entertainment. You're in the place to be for entertainment. I can also imagine you're talking about Tom Cruise. That's not the first and the best name to call.
Right.
But even with that big of names, you still say ROI is still worth it.
Absolutely. I think the ROI is still worth it. I mean, and you can get a celebrity from $2,500 to, let's say, a Tom Cruise is probably close to 7 figures, maybe even more. And it depends on the brand, what they want to accomplish, how much money they have. But there's somebody for everybody's budget, that's for sure. And no matter who they choose, it's going to be better than having John Smith, COO, which really only the company knows. And it's like, okay, he's a nice guy. He's smart. He knows his figures. He knows how to run the company. But Tom Cruise, wow, that was really cool. It's that mystique, that halo effect.
If you help a customer find the perfect entertainment for their event, how do you find that match? Because I can imagine, like you say, budget is one of the aspects you look at, but
absolutely,
on top of that, I also think you're looking for a match with the company. Or how do you approach that?
That's 98% of the challenge, I think. A lot of times, let's say, Kevin, you're the CEO of a multinational corporation, and your favorite actor is Al Pacino. Mm-hmm. So in your mind, that's who I want for my event. I'm going to get Al Pacino. You get your event director in the company. You find Al Pacino. The event coordinator hires us. Find Al Pacino. Mm-hmm. But let's say you're trying to hit a Salesforce, and your Salesforce is all 25 to 35-year-old males. Al Pacino is not your target market, but because of the ego of the CEO, that's who they want. So sometimes you've got to massage them and say, I'll try to find this person for you. He or she might be out of your budget, but I'm going to give you some other suggestions too. So I always ask, when I have somebody on the telephone, who their target market is, who's the person, who are the people that are going to be in the audience, and try to gear it for them. Because sometimes what the company wants and what their actual target market is they're trying to accomplish are two different things. So you have to walk a tightrope on that. But if you're the CEO and you have an open blank checkbook and you want that person because you've always wanted to meet them, it's tough to overcome that sometimes.
Yeah. If we're talking about hiring celebrities, is it then most of the time regarding just an acte de présence, or is it also about giving a speech, maybe do a performance or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's depends a lot on who's booking them. Sometimes it is a speech, a speaking engagement. A lot of times, let's say they're opening a store or a nightclub or a restaurant. It's just having the celebrity walk in and take photographs at the step and repeat and being there. That way, all the publicity, say when they opened the restaurant, they had so-and-so there. Or sometimes it could be in a convention type situation. It could be having somebody just sitting there and having autographs or taking photographs of the people in attendance. So there's a lot of variables involved. Sometimes it's just coming in and walking around and meeting the employees in the corporation and say, so-and-so dropped by today and came to my booth, my cubicle and said hello to me before I even had a coffee this morning. And that starts the day off great. So it depends on the company, what they want to do with it, but there's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
It could be also in this day and age with COVID, it could just be sitting there and doing, a Zoom conference like this with their employees too. There's a lot of ways of doing it.
And before you know, Tom Cruise is one of the the people on the screen there.
That's right. Yeah, that's got to be a celebrity impersonator. No, that's the real deal.
Yeah, then you need to convince people that it's the real one.
That's very true. Very true.
Booking a celebrity or a performance or an act or whatever you choose as entertainment, what I've learned in the business is that's also very important to have, a good understanding about the details. What is in the price? What additional fees may be subject? What can we do? What can't we do? Can we take pictures like that? What's your experience with that?
Everything you mentioned, it varies from entertainer, from celebrity to celebrity. One thing a lot of people forget about is, okay, we booked them for XYZ, but then there's what's called the rider, RIDER, the rider. And the rider is how they travel, what hotel requirements they need, the per diem for food every day, how long the event's going to be, what they want in a dressing room or a green room, as they call it, before they walk on. And those can vary immensely. It could be from flying business class to flying a private charter jet. Could be from a room for them and a room. They usually never travel alone. They usually have a handler or someone that buffers them from all the business details. Sometimes it's a makeup artist or a hairstylist. If it's a famous Hollywood actress, she wants to have her hair and professional makeup done. It could be several $100s a day for food. It could be when they have a room, they want nobody in the room but themselves. They might have to have pink flowers.
Is that the craziest thing? What is the craziest thing you ever seen on a rider?
The craziest thing I've seen on the rider is they wanted certain wines backstage, certain alcoholic beverages, which is fine. And it normally is fine everywhere. Unfortunately, this client was a Native American tribal casino, and the state that they're working in will not allow any alcohol backstage. So luckily for so we said that's a no-go because the government won't allow it, and it was a moot point. But a lot of times, Kevin, these entertainers, they put something in there that's really picky, and it's just to see how much the person cares. Like there's a story, and it's one rock band. I can't remember the rock band. They wanted only green M&Ms backstage. And it wasn't really about the green M&Ms. It was they walked in and they saw the bowl of green M&Ms. They knew these people really cared about the details, and they're going to take really good care of us. And that's all it was. It was a little flag for them. The green M&Ms are there. They love us. They're not there. We can just walk through this. They don't care about us so much. So there's a lot of things like that. But a lot of people, when they're booking, they forget about, there's the added costs, the 2 flights for the entertainer, the celebrity, and somebody else, the backstage, what they require, the hotel room, it could be a suite, could be a regular room. There's a lot of details like that. And then a lot of people say, oh, we want them there for 6 hours. no celebrity is going to sit there for 6 hours. You probably negotiate between an hour 15, maybe 2.5 hours maximum. But after that, they're out of there. They don't want to be there that long. And a lot of people say, oh, we'll get them 2 nights hotel. They can come the night before. They can do the job, the gig, as we call it, and they leave the next day. No, as soon as it's finished, if there's a flight available, they're out of there. You know, their time is very, very, very valuable. And they might have this one job on a Tuesday, and that Wednesday, they might be somewhere else doing another job somewhere else. So they're in at the last minute. They do the performance, and they're out of there as soon as they can. But it's a great question, though, because people forget about all those added costs.
Yeah,
we call them pluses.
Yeah, if you're mentioning private jets, then they are definitely pluses.
Yes, yeah, but big time.
You're talking about the celebrities liking the host or the organizer to pay attention to the details. How is it the other way around? Because as an event organizer, you also like that a celebrity comes prepared, knows what your business is all about, knows what the event is all about, not somebody just walking in and say, okay, hi everybody, I'm Tom Cruise and I'm out of here. How is that working with those celebrities? Because you just mentioned they're going from one gig to the other.
Yeah.
Do they actually invest time in preparing this, or is there a big difference between celebrities?
I would say 95% of the celebrities really care about what they're doing. And you got to think, you know, they're only as good as the performance they do. It's their brand. It's like if you were Coca-Cola and the bottles weren't looking good, it's like, well, it's Coke, but it doesn't look good. So, you know, they're on their game. As soon as they walk out of their room, they're on stage. Anybody that contacts with them. So I would say 95% of them care about everything. And sure, you get the ones, you know, they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or they have marital problems or whatever, and they're just going through the motions. And that does happen sometimes, unfortunately.
But with everybody, I think. That happens with everybody. So
yeah. I could have woke up this morning grumpy and I wouldn't be happy. It was, oh, I got to talk to Kevin. Like, oh, hi, Kevin. Yeah. And I give you answer. I give you like, you ask me a question. I go, yes, no. And it's the worst interview in the world for you. You just want to get rid of me. You know, it's the same thing, unfortunately. But I would say 95% of them really care, really want to do good. And I had a very, very a Hollywood A-type celebrity the year before COVID hit. It was probably our biggest job we did before COVID. And she had a request of flying private. And I said, whoa, maybe that could be a deal breaker. And so the client said, no, it's okay, we'll do it. And then she came back and said, well, I don't want to fly their plane. I want to fly my plane. And this is the cost. And the cost, well, for me, when I saw the cost just of the fuel, it was like, oh my God. And they said, no problem. And then And I had to deal with her agency, and her agency was very detail oriented. And you could even say maybe too nitpicky. I said, this is going to go either really good or really bad. So as soon as the job was over, the next day I was on the line. I called my client and they said, she was the nicest person you could ever imagine. I go, really? I mean, this is a big, big budget event. And I couldn't believe it because it was so hard to put the deal together. And there were so many variables and the travel and this and that. And it's like, and I was just praying. I told my wife, I said, please, I hope this goes well. And it went incredibly well. And
but maybe because it was prepared so well.
This is probably true. And then again, you know, at that level for a Hollywood celebrity, their managers and their agents, you know, they're the bad guys because they don't want the celebrity to be the bad guy. So they push all the boundaries as much as they can, and they try to respect that, you know, but I do respect that. But anyway, it went very well. And as you said, you know, you never know. And they did a great job, and that's all that matters at the end of the day for the client and for the guests.
Maybe as a last question, if you could give organizers one golden tip, what should they pay attention to if they organize an event and are looking for entertainment? What's the most important thing?
I think we touched upon it earlier in this interview. I think is know who their audience is. Okay, you don't have to know how much money you want to spend. You have to add something to that for travel, blah, blah, blah. But if your audience is all females, you want to hit an entertainer or celebrity that hits that target market. If you have a all gentleman sales force in front of you, and that doesn't happen anymore, but you really got to know your target market. If your employees that you're trying to entertain are 35 to 45, you don't want a John Wayne, let's say, who pushes 70, 80-year-old olds, or, it's a different person. You've got to know your market, hit your market, and you'll be a success. The entertainer will be a success, and the event will be a success. But it's all about knowing who's in front of you on the stage, who the audience is.
Okay, great. Edwin, thank you so much for your time and for sharing all these insights on booking entertainment.
Thank you, Kevin. I have a pleasure being with you here, and I've seen some of your video podcasts online, and I enjoy them, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity again. Have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And you at home, thank you for watching our show. I hope to see you next week.